What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about physical gaming CDs, basically. You know, the ones that you put into a DVD player or console. We're talking about CDs today. Two things about it. Are we seeing the decline of CDs in gaming specifically? I've already done a video about physical media in terms of movies and music as well. That's a video you can go check out if you're interested in that. And the second as well is the benefits or the pros and cons basically about having CDs, gaming CDs as well, because I feel like it's an interesting topic to talk about as someone that is interested in games and seeing how the gaming um, genre has exploded over the last few decades, especially how consoles has moved inside our house. Obviously, we've gone previously from cabinets, arcade cabinets in designated locations, whether it be at your malls or whether it be at your shops, basically. Like here in South Africa, we have our arcade cabinets in places like Wonderland, which is in a mall. So Wonderland is in a mall, and there you've still got your classic arcade cabinets. You have Pac-Man, you have your arcade shooters, you have things like that. But ever since the consoles has moved into your house, or gaming has moved into your house, basically, CDs started to become more popular. I think around the 2000s, CDs started becoming very popular, and you could buy CDs in your game shops, and that's how gaming companies were distributing games back then. And this was before the digital era of like downloading games and everything like that, because now you can get games on your USBs, you can get computer games, PC gaming basically on your PC, just a file, no CDs, no hardware needed. And I think the physical space for CDs in the gaming space is becoming null and void. I feel like we are going to be entering an era where games won't be printed on CDs anymore because companies have to shelve out resources for the games to be printed on CDs and be distributed. And whether that is a good thing or bad thing, you can let me know in the comments below. Do you guys think that CDs for games is still a good thing to have around? And by good thing, I mean, should companies be still doing it? Because I know a lot of people love still collecting their CDs and having their hard copies with them. And obviously, the one benefit to doing that is having it owned physically. Like, I've always had this being told to me, especially my dad told me that online and things like that, especially with like your consoles, if you download games on them and the console crashes, you could lose the downloads and the games you've purchased. I don't know if PlayStation will not refund you, but they will say, okay, no, you have bought this, and they will just restore it back onto a new console that you get or whatever. Because it's very tricky in terms of asking them, okay, I would like this game back because I actually bought it, but you don't really own it. It's just on your console because you made the purchase. And I think games, having them on CDs is good because you get to own them and you always keep them with you and you can put them on different consoles. If you've got a game, I remember back in the day we used to take games to my friend's house and vice versa. He'd have a game, maybe on the PS4 or the PS3, I mean, sorry, or PS2, and he'd bring over his games and I'd go bring over my games there because we were on the same console and we would just trade games. And as well, the memory card used to be a big thing. So you could just plug it into a PlayStation and there you go, you can play the games. But we've moved a long way from there. Now we've got things like game sharing on the PlayStation, and we've got things like downloadable games on your consoles, and cloud gaming as well, and game streaming, and everything's becoming so digital, digital, digital. I've always said that the problem mainly with what physical games are doing is that the games are so expensive physically to buy because obviously you've got to buy the CD and you pay for the hardcover and like the casing that comes in, and those are costs that are either not present in the game itself because when a game gets made, I feel like there's an actual price that they put on it, but there might be additional costing if you want to buy like a CD and if you want to buy the casing. And sometimes I remember manuals used to come in games, and then I used to love actually. Just a little sidebar. I used to love coming home from buying like a game. We used to go to like maybe BT games, and we used to buy those games. a game, for example, and then on the way home, you would ride in the car, you would check out the front cover, you check out the graphics that was printed, you check out the back, you read all new game or see what all the modes you get in there, and it used to be so exciting to see that on the games themselves. And you used to open it and read the manuals. I remember PlayStation 2 manuals. They just showcase what's going on in the game, and you used to not scroll. You used to read through the manual, looking for like different art that gets put in there and everything. And it was a very special experience. I'm glad to have been part of that era where games were coming in CDs, and printed manual books and everything like that. Because there was one game I was playing and I wanted to go check out a manual for it, and they just popped a QR code on the screen, and you have to like go check out the manual on the website. And I'm like, oh come on, man, is this like how far we've gotten? There's no more manuals. But maybe it's not like an online game thing. Maybe just a gaming thing in general, because it's all costs at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that we've reached the decline of physical gaming, specifically in the console space? Is cloud streaming and cloud services going to be the future of gaming? I think it is, personally, because I feel like nowadays people don't necessarily, well, majority of people don't necessarily care about owning it physically. They'd more rather just have the game on yearly basis. Like I know similar someone or a company that does that, Xbox, has their Game Pass, like a yearly Game Pass, and you just get access to all these titles, and you play it. For example, if you want to play Forza, like 5 or whatever, or Halo or whatever, right? And you're playing it on the console, and you've played it now. You've played it maybe for 2 months, okay, and it's finished, and your Game Pass, for example, expires. You've already played Halo, you've already got that experience, so you can move on. Some people are okay with doing that, but some other people would like to own the games for owning sake, to have it with them and to keep it on in like a physical form. Maybe it's like sentiment, or maybe it's just like it means more to own something physically. I personally appreciate owning stuff physically as well, but buying games like digitally, it's way more cost effective nowadays. I feel like it's so much cheaper. There's constantly specials that is on, like especially in the PlayStation Store. There's always specials running, and if you try and go to your game shop, your local game shop, or even try and get one off like an online store, like I mean like a Takealot or something, they still they charge you like 1,000 rand for games that are like years old, and I don't understand like why it is like that. Maybe it's like a cost thing, like I said, at the end of the day. But I just feel like the gaming ecosystem um is going to change, and I think we're already seeing a change with like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X that's gotten digital only versions that are cheaper cheaper than the disc versions. I mean, I suppose it's because it's more hardware, so the cost is higher because they have to pay for it to make it. But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's almost like the industry is pushing players to go fully digital. But let me know down below, guys, what you think about this topic about gaming, the gaming ecosystem. I guess digital versus physical. What do you guys? Do you guys own any games on physical copies, like CDs and that? What are your experiences with physical game? Because I know people have said like CDs have scratched before, and that is a big thing. I've spoken about it in my previous video about physical media and stuff like that as well. But let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.